Rugby World Rankings, folks, after 3 rounds of the Six Nations 2025, wins for Ireland, England, and the French. How has that changed the rankings? We'll go through them. You guys can let us know your thoughts, and then we'll see just how things might change as we head into the 4th round in a fortnight's time. Ireland have got France, so is it possible for them to take number 1 off the box? We'll have a look at that in a tick. But if you noticed the positions of the teams from the last time we looked at the world rankings and they look familiar now, that's because nobody changed. Nobody changed positions in the world rankings. Ireland, with their win over the Welsh, didn't take any points even though it was away. The gap between the sides is too much for the Irish to take any points there. The French, with their win over the Italians, did take points. So it seems like almost an alternate universe, because it always used to be teams playing Italy didn't take any points because Italy was too far behind. But now we genuinely have France taking points off the Italians. Not a heck of a lot. 0.67 of a point. So, just over half a point. So the French have kind of slightly closed the gap on New Zealand, but the gap is still relatively big there. But hey, it's a movement in the right direction. So that means the Italians dropped the same amount, but not enough to drop below Georgia. There's still a pretty massive gap between those two sides. Argentina are there in 5th, and then England with that win over the Scots. It's only half a point again, like 0.64, but it's really important, and I keep hammering this one home because England are in 6th and Scotland are now in 7th. That was the way it was the last game as well, before Scotland had that loss to the Irish. If you remember, when Scotland were in 6th, England and Scotland swapped places. Well, England keep that 6th spot, which as it stands is the vital one to be a tier 1 draw at the next World Cup. So the top 6 teams are the kind of top seeds, and that is England at the moment rather than the Scots. Scotland will be the top 2nd seed, which is not as good a place to be because it means you're guaranteed to get the Box, Ireland, All Blacks, French, Pumas, or England. So, seeding in the top seeds would be preferable. But England have extended that lead slightly, and Scotland have fallen slightly further behind, but certainly not kind of an unassailable lead. And then the rest of the table of the rankings kind of just looks pretty much the same because the Rugby Europe Championship wasn't in action at the weekend. How could things possibly change as we head into the next round? Can Ireland take number 1 spot? Still, the answer is no. Despite the fact that Ireland are playing France, and France are kind of one of the highly ranked teams, second highest ranked team of the Six Nations sides, the most Ireland can get is about half a point, 0.53, and they would have to beat France by 16 points or more. Because if you remember from the Rugby World Rankings, the points you take a lesser amount if you win by 1 to 15, you take a higher amount if you win by 16 plus. So even 16 plus is only going to be half a point. And with the Irish still more than a full point behind the Box, it's not going to be enough, but obviously it would close the gap. And it could go much further the other way if the French were to get a win. You'd be looking down the table because the New Zealanders, the All Blacks, would pass Ireland if France were to get a win. They'd drop, I think, at least 1.65 points. So that'd be good news for New Zealand, I guess. Not that I think many Kiwis at this point of the year are monitoring the world rankings, but hey, it'd be a good wee bolstering for Razor. But you feel like that is definitely must-watch viewing for the next round of the Six Nations. Scotland, they're playing Wales. They can't take anything. The gap between the sides is too much. Wales are down on 73.75. Scotland's on 82.36, and then Scotland being at home will be scored at +3, so the gap is too vast for the Scots. And, you feel like Wales are going to be a bit of a different prospect going into that one, but still, we've got a fortnight to wait. And then England, they won't take anything if they beat they will take a little bit if they beat the Italians, but not much. It's like 0.1 or something, so really, really minimal pointage, but they would lose kind of, the full 2 points if they were to lose to the Italians, which would be good news for the Scots with that 6th spot on the line. But hey, as I said, we've still got 2 weeks to wait before we get into action. The Rugby Europe Championships matches are on this coming weekend, though. They're the semi-final stages. The Netherlands are taking on Germany. Portugal's taking on Spain, which should be a good rivalry match. Belgium is taking on Switzerland, and Georgia Romania is probably the biggest game of those for this weekend. But yes, we do have a wee while to wait before the Six Nations gets back into action. If you want to watch something else which is not rugby related, can I point that video out to you? Something different, but I invite you to check it out. If you've got 15 minutes, I think it's a decent watch. But hey, I would say that because I made the bloody video. But yes, you guys take care of yourselves. Let us know on the world rankings how fair or not do you think they are. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Take care. Talk to you guys again soon. See you later.